Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Coffee with Coaches podcast. I'm your host, Kevin, and today I have with me Joe Cohen. Joe provides human capital consulting and leadership coaching. Now, let me get to the list of people he's worked with. He has worked with leaders at various companies, including Microsoft, Boeing, the Navy SEALs, AT&T, Deloitte, Wells Fargo, Allstate, Ulta Beauty, Weiss LLP, Fidelity, Google. I should just stop there. That's more than a few. Joe, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Let's begin at the beginning. Let's start at the start. How did you get your start in coaching? How did you become a coach? And then how did you move into the coaching business?
I would say I started unofficially coaching probably in 2008 when I was a director of a career counseling organization. So I was advising people on their career transitions. I didn't call it coaching back then, but eventually after I transitioned out of that organization, I started my own consulting coaching business. And I started off really focused on career consulting, career coaching. And then over time that evolved into business coaching, performance coaching, leadership, executive coaching.
Lovely. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Often you can tend to come from a very specific background in coaching, but as you get into it and really start to really apply yourself, you find that your coaching can apply to all different levels of personal and professional development. There's almost, I don't want to be too aggrandizing, but there's almost no limit to what you could do as a coach once you really throw yourself into it.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts of your coaching business. Who do you get the who, what, when, where, why? Who do you coach? How do you coach them? Do you focus on specific industries, or do you tend to have a broad swath of clientele? Do you focus on one-to-one coaching? Do you have a group coaching protocol, or do you have any courses or coursework that you'd like to, or all of the above? A lot of times it's all of the above. So yeah, what are the nuts and bolts of your practice these days?
Right. Well, I'll just think about my current clients. I have a couple of attorneys that I do coaching with where it's really focused on their business scaling, growing their law firm, helping them manage their people. And then there's also a life component where I'm helping them in different areas of their life. I don't touch finance, I don't touch relationships, but that's not my specialty. But other areas where it comes to emotional intelligence, performing, managing your schedule, managing your team, that's where I provide a lot of value. So it's a mix of attorneys, professionals, small business owners. It's industry agnostic, my coaching services.
Excellent. And you do typically do one-to-one coaching? Do you do team coaching where maybe you coach an executive and also their team below them, or maybe a department? How's that usually work?
While I worked, I was coaching a PR company where I was coaching the CEO and also key members of his team. I've also worked at law firms, coaching the partner, the founder of the law firm, and working with his team also. So it's a mix of one-on-one, group, team, and that's pretty much where I'm focused. I also do trainings like corporate leadership trainings where it's a big group environment.
Excellent. This is a sort of a specific question, but how has it developed for you over the past couple of years with the obvious restrictions of in-person events like that? Are you finding your coaching practice? Are you getting more group presentations, more kind of keynote opportunities or company retreat options? Is that starting to come back for you at this time?
I have not done any live retreats yet. Not in the past 2 years, but before that I did. But there are more opportunities for virtual trainings that has come up since COVID.
That's true. It really has. Being kind of a bright sider optimist anyway, it's always looking for the good things that have come out of what could be easily qualified as just a terrible tragedy. But there's been a lot of, I would say, wonderful development in our capacity to connect virtually on all different levels. On one-to-one levels, we're having this conversation obviously on Zoom. Even a few years ago, this kind of thing was available, but it was far from common. And then the ability to have really profound and impactful events that are entirely virtual and still be able to connect at the kind of level that you need to as a coach, where you could really dive in and, like you were saying, help someone develop their emotional intelligence, which you typically think of as something that you do in person. And obviously there are significant advantages to being able to be in the room with someone when you're coaching them, but our capacity to still affect tremendous change virtually seems to me to have grown by leaps and bounds, and it's something that I find very encouraging. There's not really much of a question there. I'm just kind of responding to your to your coaching approach.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin.
So let's talk about what's coming around the corner. What are you excited about in 2022 that's going to be coming up for you in your coaching practice?
I'm currently working on creating a group coaching for attorneys and a group coaching, like a cohort of 8 to 12 people for small business owners. So I already have a few people for each group that are interested in being part of the mastermind / group coaching, where it's going to be a 6-month engagement. I'm really excited about that. I'm also excited about doing more corporate trainings. I'm currently doing one with about 50 managers in a particular company, and I'm looking to do more of those.
Awesome. Yeah, it feels like there's opportunities abound, quite frankly.
Right.
And I love how much more positive, not just positively disposed, but hungry people are for coaching. Realizing not just the potential to affect positive change in their life, but sometimes the necessity. There are just certain things, certain aspects of development that just they feel like they need a coach to help get you through. And we talked a little bit before I hit the record about understanding process. Like a lot of people will have like the inherent skills or the disposition or the leadership qualities or emotional intelligence to be the kind of leader and be the kind of professional or person that they want to be, but they don't quite have the process. They don't really know exactly where to put their feet, how to step through things. And it seems like that's exactly what you provide.
Right. And another thing that I mentioned was, you can have the ability to influence people. And I've worked with many coaches as they were my clients and consultants. They're really good at coaching. They're really good at being a yoga instructor, really good at being a marketing consultant. They gave great ideas. However, they didn't follow the process to get more clients, the process to keep their team engaged, their process, whatever the process is, right? And then there are times where they are lacking certainty. They have doubt in their abilities. They have doubt in how much they can charge. And I would consider that more of a mindset, belief system bucket, where you got to focus on all three, not just your ability to influence people and not just your ability to execute the process, right? Take consistent action, but also we're human beings. We all have self-doubt. There are going to be times in our life where anxiety creeps in, fear creeps in, and we have to have the ability, the skills, the tools to overcome those fears, those worries, those concerns. And how do you do that? When we're stuck in our own head, it's hard to do that. But when you have an objective advisor, trusted advisor, like a coach, they can help point that out, point out your blind spots, help you question your thinking. Tony Robbins says the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your questions. So if you have a good coach, he's going to ask you powerful questions. And then sometimes you may not have an answer to that tough question. So that's when the coach will put on the consultant hat and just give advice. Like, you know what, you're not seeing it. I'm just going to tell you what to do. But even when I tell you what to do, you might be lacking on taking action. I have a client who is a coach, and I gave her a roadmap on how to be successful in her business, on how to get clients, create the webinars, create her own cohort and group coaching. She has not taken any action steps in the past 2 months. And I just told her the other day, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to disengage. I'm not able to keep you as a client anymore because you're not taking action. And it's not ethical for me to continue taking your money if you're not taking action. So everything's important.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I really admire your values there. plenty of people would just allow things to continue on in that stagnant state. But you come to a relationship with someone that you're coaching with a purpose. You come to serve them. Obviously, there's, you're being paid for your time and for your services and for your constructs, but you care about someone's progress. And if they are in a state for whatever reason where they're not taking the actions required to execute on the plan that you've given them and the consultations you've provided, I admire the ethics there to come to them and say, this isn't going to work out well going forward. It's such a hard conversation to have, for some at least, but it's so vital. And it really does. It speaks to the intention of your coaching and the character of your coaching in a way that it spoke very loudly to me. And you spoke very eloquently there about the importance of questions. It's just, you stated everything so beautifully. I find myself wanting to continue to dive into that, but I think we're already getting close to running out of time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Before we go, real quick, where can people find you and connect with you? I know people tend to have a preferred social media where they like to have conversations, and of course, a website to sign up or get to know more about you. So where do you like to interact with people?
I'm not so active on social media yet, but I am active on LinkedIn. So, and my website, 40pillars.com, the number 40, and then pillars, PILLARS.com. You could find me there. Send me an email at joe@40pillars.com, and also Joe Cohen on LinkedIn associated with 40 Pillars.
LinkedIn counts as social media. It's become quite a robust relationship platform. It's a great place to have good conversations, I feel like. So yeah, that counts. You're on social media. He's got more to come.
More to come.
Joe, thank you so much for being here. It's been fantastic to talk to you.
Likewise. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Of course. And to the audience, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Awesome. Thank you.